Hey, it's DC here with Genesis Strength TV and InsaneFootballTraining.com. Just wanted to say thanks for checking out this video and let you guys know that if you haven't, before we get started, click on that link below, download your free football training cheat sheet, and that will help you get started and make sure that you're training correctly so you dominate on the gridiron. So today I want to talk to you guys about why our football players do so much upper back work. If you're not familiar with upper back work, or actually, let me rephrase that, for most people when we mention upper back work, the first thing and the only thing that pops into most athletes' minds is traps and just trap development by doing things like shrugs. Unfortunately, with a lot of our football guys, that also becomes cleans at their school, or reverse curl with a donkey kick or whatever. You know my stance on Olympic lifts. But shrugs, that type of stuff, is really what the first thing that people think about when they think upper back work. I was in that same boat all through high school, all through college, even doing strength and conditioning stuff. It wasn't until I was out of college and started doing stuff and learning stuff on my own from non-college strength coaches and more outside guys that were concentrating more on rehab, prehab, and fixing muscle balances while they're training. They're athletes, and I start learning more about how the upper back needs to be worked, how to take care of it, and how to make sure that it is going to stay healthy so everything else progresses. Our definition of upper back work actually is not traps. I like to keep those totally separate when we're talking about upper back work. And to me, upper back work is stuff that hammers the rear delts, the rhomboids, and all those, basically that shoulder girdle and all the scapula movements from different angles by varying exercises and stretches and mobility techniques. A couple of the bulk of the upper back exercises that you really need to be focusing on are things like band pull-aparts in all different variations. Upper, overhand, underhand. We'll go X where you're here, taking it this way where both arms work. If you really have an issue, leave one arm locked, that bottom arm, and only make the top arm work. You'll flip. We'll go overhead band pull-aparts where we're pulling them this way. The only one that we will not do, seems to be all the rage now, is actually the one that kind of one of my mentors, DeFranco, came out with, that I just don't think is applicable to our athletes, because every time I've tried it, had my coaches try it, or used it with some of my athletes, the feedback that I've gotten has not been what I want, because we've only felt it in our traps and front delts. And to me, a band pull apart is a way to balance and build and strengthen that upper back outside of the traps by hammering the smaller muscles that are going to be doing more of the pulling motion. But once you have that band pull apart that Joe D put together, then you are going to, it actually makes it to where the traps have to stay activated to be able to get the band up and out and stable the whole time. So band pull aparts, we will hammer. You want to hammer things like scapula push-ups, where you are on the ground performing a straight regular push-up, but instead of bending at the elbows, the only thing that moves are your shoulder blades out, and you want to pull them back in touch. And so, for example, if I'm on the wall here, this is my starting position, my elbows or shoulder blades touch, and pull back open. That we like to do dumbbell rotating presses, where basically you're taking dumbbells. We do them standing or seated, where you stand, chest up tall, arms are going to be, actually let me drop this down a little so you guys can see. Scoot this back some. There we go. So standing, seated, it doesn't matter if you're seated, feet are going to be together, chest up tall. You want to give a big shrug. Your elbows are going to come high. If you see from the side, I'm already lacking some internal rotation that I need to personally be working on. But shrug, elbows. I'm holding 5, 10, 15-pound dumbbells at the very most. We rotate up without letting our elbows drop, so it's not this, but here, here, and then from here to press up. Then you go back down the same way you came. Boom. That is one rep. That is probably by far my favorite exercise outside of band work. Some of the other band things that you can be doing are other than band pull aparts or face pulls. We've covered that before. Elbows stay high. Face pulls with scapular retraction to where it's here, and then you kind of pull it apart at the end. We'll go face pulls over the face where you're here. You pull it over your head to get some external rotation here, back down, back out. And really those are the main ones that we really try to hammer. Scapular push-ups, band pull aparts, dumbbell rotating presses, and face pulls, and a couple different body weight variations of scarecrows, and even body weight face pulls. So make sure that you put those in your training so your upper back stays balanced. The main thing that happens if you don't hammer that upper back is you end up seeing the slouchy shoulder guy who always lifts and benches and walks around like this, but doesn't have, never seems to be getting stronger, never seems to be able to grow because everything is so pinched and compact in here that nothing has the space to grow or really move. So by hammering that upper back, you open those shoulders up, put it back in the normal range of motion, allow that chest to breathe basically, to grow, to get what it needs, to stretch, and the shoulders to stay in the correct position so everything stays healthy. So upper back work is probably one of the most important things that every athlete, no matter what your sport, should be doing, but football players especially, because football players depend so much on bench press and depend so much on having strong shoulders and having strong, healthy shoulders that'll keep them safe with their arms in a million different positions depending on what their position is on the field. So give those exercises a try, plug them into your training program. If you haven't, like I said, click that link below. I'll hit you guys. I got some more great tips for you in the football training cheat sheet that you pick up when you click that link. If you haven't yet, subscribe so you'll stay up to date with all the videos. Appreciate you checking it out. Now you guys know, knowing is half the battle.